Welcome to my online Bible study. Today's lesson is a little different than I usually plan. I don't usually get involved in the Greek word studies since they can really get involved, and a lot of times it's just not appropriate for an online Bible study. But today I did want to discuss a word that has drifted far away from its original Greek meaning. The word under discussion today is hypocrisy, as well as its related word hypocrite. The word appears more than 20 times in the New Testament and is usually or frequently used by Jesus himself. If I ask you to define the word, you might say that it means to say one thing and do another. This is really the modern way of defining the word that has erroneously evolved through usage, or should I say misusage, but is not the correct way. The word has a Greek origin in the word hypokrinomai, meaning to pretend, to make believe. It comes from the Attic Greek, meaning to play a role on a stage. It's to pretend to be something that you're not. And according to the Greek lexicon, the noun form, or hypocrite, means one who creates a public impression that is at odds with one's real purpose. In other words, it's play acting, pretending, putting on an outward show, or hiding under a false appearance. This becomes very clear when we look at exactly how Jesus uses the word and he applies it to the Pharisees. It's a warning to us all that we should watch out for those who put on a show for us for the sake of popular appearance, when inwardly they have ulterior motives. Here's a few references from the New Testament. The first one is from Matthew chapter 6, verse 2, from Jesus. He says, "Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound the trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have the glory of men. Verily I say to you, they have their reward." So in this example, it's very clear that this is an instance of putting on a public display by outwardly showing their faith, when inwardly they are actually lacking it. And another from Matthew chapter 6, verse 16, again from Jesus. "Moreover, when you fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward." In this example, Jesus is telling us that such people who become popular through such deception already have their reward, which is their popular approval, along with any financial rewards. And from Matthew chapter 23, verse 28, Jesus says, "Even so you also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and iniquity." So just because one might appear to be righteous, they may still be filled with hypocrisy and evil because of their unholy motives. And I've seen this a lot in my lifetime. And Paul, he gives us advice. He gives advice to Timothy in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 1 and 2. "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron." So in this example, Paul is telling Timothy what I think can be taken as a prophecy of the future, when men will depart from their real faith, or from the real faith, and seduce others into believing their false doctrines by putting on a false show of holiness. And from James, we have James 3:17. "But the wisdom that is from above is pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy." When we compare true teaching to false teaching, we find what is pure, gentle and peaceful. It's filled with mercy, and it creates good and holy character in those who follow it. And there's nothing false or deceptive about it. And it does not seek the approval of the masses through deceptive ways. And finally, from this is from Peter, from 2 Peter, that fits very well into these verses, although it really doesn't contain the word hypocrite. I think it fits very well into the whole idea of hypocrisy. From 2 Peter verse 2-3, or 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 3, and through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now for a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. There's several different translations to this verse, but the idea taken from the Greek is that through a desire for wealth and possessions, they will, through lies and deceptions, make merchandise of believers. They will turn worship into a means of attaining wealth. Please keep in mind that these verses all apply to those who are claiming religious allegiance to God. They're not applied to unbelievers in the world. Thanks for watching. I hope you will join me again in future lessons. But for now, God bless you all.